What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome into OutSpoken Network. Say what you mean what you say. As always, I'm Cordell.
Marqus.
Deuce.
Please like, subscribe, share, rate, review, all that good stuff. With that being said, topic of the day. With the move of Clay now moving on from the Golden State Warriors, the era of Curry winning any more rings could be possibly an end. And the question that we are posing is if Curry gets no more accolades, hypothetically, no more accolades, no more chips, no more MVPs, nothing. It is where he is, as if he retired today, if you will. Is Curry a top 10 player all time in the NBA?
You know, it's tough. Like the top 10 is like you literally have the best of the best.
Name your 10.
No, please, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Give me a yes or no yet.
But
Please don't do that.
but I would have to say he's on the outside looking in right now.
Please don't name the top 10. For the love of God.
You know,
No.
What does we answer the question? He answered the question saying no, he's not.
Mm-hmm.
What does he need to get in exactly?
So for me, it's always been that, you know, I think he obviously has the championships, he has the MVPs, but everybody else on this list also has these things, right?
Curry's the all-time 3-point.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, but other people also have records that they have as well that he doesn't have. So, like, if you want to say, so like I said, he's not in my top 10. My top 10, and this is in no order.
Oh, please, thank God. Oh my God.
This is because y'all are super. You know what? I'll do the order.
No, man, no. No.
I mean,
Come on, bro.
So my order right now is
Are you going 10 to 1 or 1 to 10?
I'm going 1 to 10.
Does it matter?
No, I want 10 to 1.
10 to 1?
No, I want 1 to 10. No, 1 to 10 is
Yeah. We're gonna go.
Well, we don't know who 1 will be for you, but go ahead.
Yeah.
I guess
So
we'll figure out who 1 is now. And I'm like, is it Jordan or LeBron? Like that was where I was at, but you know what? It's fine.
So I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little biased. So I got 1A, 1B.
Man, oh. The hell no. Pause the episode right now.
Look.
Broad ass list. Broad ass list.
No. So
Next.
Broad ass list.
me, I do have LeBron at 1.
What they be doing on the Apollo?
Jordan on 2. I have Kareem at 3.
You took so much off my shoulders, bro. Thank God.
I have
Oh,
Bill
my
Russell
God.
at 4.
Jesus.
I have Magic at 5.
Oh my God, he saved me.
I have
This list is
Tim
shit.
Duncan at 6.
This list is gone.
I have Kobe at 7. I have Shaq at 8. Wilt at 9. And then I have Larry Bird at 8.
Hey, that's one of the worst lists I ever heard in my life. I thank you, man. You
That's what I'm saying.
Go ahead.
Like for me,
Y'all are
it's
crazy.
it's not only about, you know, what you accomplish individually, but it's also about like what your career was. Because sometimes I think for as good of the careers that these guys had, you gotta add in like those little things that just kind of separates them from other players, right? So like my separator for Tim Duncan and Kobe was the fact that Tim Duncan always made the playoffs, never on a losing team, and at the end of the day, like he was pretty much the best player on that team, basically since they won championship 1, all the way to like championship 3, 4. Nah, not 5. For sure, not 5. No, he wasn't the best player when they won 5.
Oh, you talking about David?
That's what I'm saying. When, like, he was the clear-cut best player for at least 3 or 4 of those 5 championships. So I'm just saying he's the only person in NBA history to pretty much, when they have a full season, they win 50 games. Like that's
yeah, they discouraged
for at least for as long as he did.
Here for Tim Duncan.
So for me, like that's why I just don't think that Curry is there yet, because I don't put him over Larry Bird, who has 3 championships, 3 MVPs, and was on a decade of dominance where in the 80s, it was always Lakers Celtics in the final. So they were repeatedly was winning seasons and winning mentality that Curry just didn't have with the Warriors. It was close because obviously they won more championships with 4, but it was a little up and down for just that little bit. And the one thing that I think with Curry is in this decade of dominance that they had, he was only a first team All NBA 4 times. I'm like, I feel like Curry. I feel like, if you're the best, one of the best guards, like you should be more first teams. Obviously, like he's played longer than Larry Bird, and yet Larry Bird still has more first team All NBAs and more All Stars at this point. So if he was, let's just say he was to accumulate more All NBAs and more All Stars, let's just say he gets like the same amount of All Stars, maybe a little bit more NBAs, then maybe he can jump Larry Bird. But right now, like I have Larry Bird at 10. My 9, Wilt Chamberlain, he just like broke records that will never be broken. He has more MVPs with 4. He has a lot of more first team All NBAs. Like I feel like he just needs a little bit more.
All right,
he has 2.
Eric.
Oh, okay. Steph doubles him.
Steph.
You don't have him in your top 10 either.
You guys are disgusting.
I have him literally the same 10 dudes just in a different order.
You guys are nasty.
Same 10 dudes, different order. I have.
What does it have to do for you?
What does he have to do for me? I don't know.
All right. Like it stinks.
No,
it's thank you for your analytics. Thank you.
Okay, so when we were laying all of this out, what we was talking about, Steph, what Steph is generational. Like it's a different form of the generation that Gilbert Arenas is talking about in terms of the Wemby's and the Giannis. LeBron's being built different. With Steph developing a skill set that nobody else has been able to do or replicate. Got him championships. He got his finals MVP that he needed. Was able to break the 3-point record. He was able to overcome his early ankle injuries. You know what I'm saying? Being a smaller point guard, still being able to finesse, still be able to make people around him better and all of that. Like, I have nothing to take away from Steph. I guess the only thing that people knock him for was the finals MVPs that he didn't get when KD got him. I know that you argue that one of them should have been Steph's. In 2016, getting shut down in big moments, but people remember the Kevin Love blocking him up, things of that nature. That ring. There's question marks around that. But I have Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, Magic, Bill, Kobe, Shaq, Tim, Bird, and Wilt ahead of Steph. I think all around, I would take all of these dudes.
Like all those guys are generational guys.
Can I ask you guys this? On your list, right?
Mm-hmm.
All these guys that were drafted, all right? When they just every time that these guys were drafted, right? Were they all pretty much drafted with the expectation of being an all-time great?
No.
All of these dudes?
Every last one.
Expectation of being an all-time
great because it's hard to say. It's hard for who was on your list? You got Duncan, Kareem, like these guys weren't expected to be all-time greats?
All time. So I would say when you say all time great, I think the only people that that moniker was probably definitely LeBron, definitely Kareem.
Like even Jordan didn't have that moniker being an all time great
either.
Yes,
because if he was, he would have went first. But
they didn't. Houston didn't need a guard. But he took a king.
But no guards. But
the expectation were all-time great. Okay, did you guys consider Steph Curry to be an all-time great when he came out? Not really good. I ain't asked for really good. All-time great.
Dude. Did you expect? Nobody thought Kobe would.
Did you expect barely?
No, timeout.
So you can't say that
you don't pluck somebody out at 18 straight from high school if you don't think that they're gonna if they're that type of
at 13. No,
that's not true.
Like to say that he's gonna be an all-time great. No, that's not true.
But
got more expectations. Kobe at 18 or Curry?
Curry.
No, Kobe.
Why would you have a lot of expectations of an 18-year-old? And we know Kobe didn't really start. If he had all those expectations, then why didn't he really start playing for real until his third year?
Because it was too young to enter the league.
How is he too young?
He entered the league at 18. He wasn't ready. He entered the league
Expectations
because you still drafting him that high.
No, kid is not high.
All-time part.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so let's change this.
If that's the case, then LeBron was all-time great, expected to be, and he was drafted number 1.
Let's here. I'll change the semantics for you. Do these guys on your list have expectations of being one of the best in the league when they enter the draft?
Or higher expectations than Steph.
Were their expectations?
Because y'all not going to convince me.
One of the best in the league.
You guys are not going to convince me that when a 6-foot guard out of Davidson College, when he was drafted, that you thought we would have him in the top 10 all-time
conversation.
conversation.
Say the same thing about Kobe Bryant.
That's one player.
No,
one.
I'm sorry.
That's one player.
You talked about guys that are in the top.
So who else? That's one player you gave me.
Okay, so hold on.
Expectations in terms of what you think they're going to do as soon as they step foot into the league. I feel as though for Kobe specifically, I think because of one, not seeing a lot of 18-year-olds going to the league, there was more buzz and more hype about what he could be.
His expectations were there. The expectations weren't there for him to do it in year 1, but when they took him at 18, they were like, I see this guy can be, and he's right now.
People in the draft that we say that
draft. I'm talking about your list. You name one player on your list.
We just had a whole episode about the draftees coming out this year.
Bro.
We had a whole thing.
Bro,
Go back and look at it that just happened.
We said this about Hakeem to be.
Suspected to be an all-time great?
No,
stop saying all-time great.
Hold on, no. But even
these guys that just came out in this year's draft, we're sitting here having a conversation of who we think could even be a superstar. And you said you had 9.
I said 9 stars, not superstars.
Oh, sorry, 9 stars. But if they're a star, that means you have 9 guys who could be stars potentially.
So I would have said the same thing about Kobe.
But hold on, hold on.
Okay.
But none of them did you sit here and say potential to be one of the best in the league. Because then you would have said superstar. None of them in this draft.
No one looked at Steph.
But these guys.
No one looked at Steph, in my opinion. No one looked at Steph and said, when his career is done, we're going to have a conversation about him being a top 10 player all time. Nobody did. At least half your list, agree with me here, at least half your list did. Right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least half. I say all this to say that the fact that he was not expected to be.
He overachieved.
Yeah, he absolutely did compared to everybody else on your list.
But that doesn't
let me go. That's why he's in my top 10.
Okay.
Because he exceeded those expectations and more. You didn't look at a guy that can be the greatest shooter of all time. Did you really expect him to
make this argument?
No, that is
He asked me a question. I wasn't gonna say nothing. You do the same shit with Brock Purdy. I hate when you do that. Oh, Mr. Relevant, he doing this, and that. Once you get to the league, it's what you do and how you show up and show out. And Steph did overachieve. You're absolutely right. That was not the bar that he was setting. I hate that that's the first reason. No. You asked me a question. I'll ask you your question. I hate that that's the first reason that you bring up for why Steph should be considered a top 10. That was all that is right with me. Go ahead.
Like, why not just his accolades instead of what he was supposed to do?
Y'all gonna let me get to the accolades?
You looked at me and asked me a question.
Go ahead.
Y'all gonna let me get to the accolades?
Right, go ahead.
Because the accolades already include him being the all-time leader in three-point shot. That's an accolade right there.
Yep.
Again, no one expected that to him, but he did it. He was able to enter this league. He entered this league with a kind of sort of a stigma. And then early on in his career, he had the ankle injuries. It was something that was kind of sort of getting in the way. He wasn't really able to be Steph until, Mark Jackson vouched for him because they were on the verge of trading him early on. They were trying to figure out between Monte Ellis and Steph who they want to keep. And Mark Jackson spoke up for him and said, "Hey, I need him here because I'm gonna build it around him." And lo and behold, here we are. We're having this conversation. I have Steph Curry in my top 10 all time. It's hard for me to look at a guy that doesn't. No one says he looks like someone that has like God-given ability. He ain't the highest jumper. He ain't the most athletic looking. He doesn't have the greatest physique, but yet he has arguably one of the greatest offensive skills we've ever seen. Now, you can also say that about guys like Larry Bird. I get it. But again, Larry Bird was 6'9" to whatever. Steph is still considered, even to this day.
You putting Steph over Bird?
No, I'm not. I'm just.
Who's taking off this list after you finish it? Go ahead.
Oh yes, you didn't give us your top 10.
He doesn't have it.
I do have it.
He ain't say it.
Shut your ass up. Edit that out.
I ain't.
Here's my list.
Right.
All right.
Why'd you not have Bill Russell?
He's not.
Really?
Nope.
Here we go.
Michael Jordan,
Okay.
LeBron,
Okay.
Kobe,
Yep.
Magic, Wilt, Bird,
Go ahead, Kareem.
Hey, he didn't interrupt you when you was doing your list.
Right. Go ahead.
Wilt, Bird, Kareem, Shaq, Duncan, Curry. My top 10. That's my top 10.
Okay. What I'll say to how you said that, okay, for you, Steph is a guy that has exceeded expectations, and he has the record of three-point record, which is still accumulating as we speak.
He's also.
But I think the one thing for me, this is why I don't have him on the list, is pretty much everybody on the top 10 on mine has some sort of record. Like, having one record just doesn't automatically put you.
He has more than one record, dude. Like, it's not just one. You want me to read every last one on Wikipedia?
It's all 3-point records. Everybody has multiple records. Like,
so what are you saying that to say what?
That I don't think that differentiates him from the other people that are in the top 10.
Here, let me intervene here real quick.
Go ahead.
I've heard everything that you guys have said. The one thing that about Curry that has not been brought up is he has changed the way this game is played. The game offensively is played differently because of him. The game defensively is played differently. Not everybody in the top 10 that you guys have named have changed this game at all.
World champ.
I said not everybody.
Oh, okay.
Not everybody in your top 10 has changed the way the game is.
Michael Jordan.
I don't know about that.
But
What, you think that everybody in their
Yes.
top 10 has changed the game?
Yes.
In what way?
Jordan changed the game. We even
Okay.
go on him.
Okay.
LeBron changed the game for sure because of his unique athletic. You've never seen an athlete like him before.
But what did he change in the game?
What do you mean? What did he change?
I'm talking about how the game is played. What did he change in the game?
What did he change in the game? The fact that you were able to see a guy transform, because remember him coming out, he was 6'4", 225, and look where he is now. This is a guy that's like, I mean, not 6'4", I'm sorry. He was like, what, 6'8" or whatever, 225. Now he's 6'8", 6'9", 270, a freight train, a guy that's able to play.
He's saying the game itself in terms of how did the game change in terms of the minutia and how it's being played?
Yes.
Steph changed the range. Shaq, you add the hack of Shaq. You know what I'm saying? They added.
I'm trying to think.
LeBron did nothing to change the game to you?
Well, I'm asking you the question. You haven't answered it yet. You're just telling me what he can do, but you're not telling me how
Because he provided a different type of athlete, in my opinion. You haven't seen anybody else.
It's just him.
So, you're saying his skill set and how he was able to play.
Yes, absolutely. You didn't see that.
He's saying in terms of the foundation of the game and changing literally the physical way the game is played, not doing more within the game, changing how the game is played.
Literally,
you have to win.
Yes, literally the way that you go about playing basketball.
I think there's a difference.
LeBron didn't change. He's just doing it in a freakish way. I'm not taking anything away from that, but we are literally the way that offenses are run and the way that defenses now have to defend offenses has changed because of him. And because there are now more people coming out who are trying to emulate what he's doing. You can't emulate what LeBron does because he's a freak.
Yeah, I think that makes it.
Well, in terms of shooting, Steph is too.
Well, but hold on. But here's the thing. So, like, Steph, like the Warriors and Steph weren't the changers of the 3-point shot. That was the Suns. The thing is, they didn't win with that. Steph and the Warriors made it to where people were like, you can win with that. And I think that's the thing that changed it into what it is today, which is they're doing. They wasn't the ones that started it, but it was their doing that changes to where people were like, you can win this way, doing it this way.
For teams that lived or
shot.
died by the 3-point shot, you didn't expect them to hoist the trophy at the end of the year.
You didn't.
Those teams you normally saw would have the better regular seasons, and then when the playoff hits,
like it just
they shoot
seemed like
themselves out of the playoffs. But what the Warriors did allowed us to see that particular model.
And that's what I'm saying. So they changed it in that way. Now I feel like there are people that, how you say, like, that changed the game in that sort of way, but then it's like, and you can replicate it in a way, and that's what other teams have done. But I also think, like, with a lot of these guys in the top 10, is they're so freakish and unique that you can't replicate that in the way their skill set is.
Right. That's just
that's what I'm saying. That's
like trying to say you want to replicate Patrick Mahomes' arm. You can't replicate that. Like, you have this one of one. It's one skill. It's his.
No, his play style.
You can try.
There are people who have his play style.
No,
he just does it best.
He just does right. But the way that offense is, the way that you play the quarterback position started to change with Aaron Rodgers. He started changing it, and then Matthew Stafford came out and it went up another level, and then Mahomes took it to a whole nother level.
Yeah, there's always a basis.
Was the first dude.
Well, yeah.
You're right. You are right. As far as how the play style, you saw the gradual play style go. And that's what I'm like. Curry made it acceptable to shoot from the edge of the logo.
Yes.
It's not a thing that was happening. Like, he physically changed.
Consistently.
Yes, that was not. That was a last second shot. We're doing that. Last second shots, buzzer beaters.
No.
They made some shots from the low.
No, but we're saying they made it. He made it
acceptable for Dame, for Trae Young, for others to go out here and do it. He changed the actual style of play that can be done. LeBron didn't change a style. He is a style. I get that. What he's doing is the same thing with
nobody's
KD.
been able to replicate.
Nobody can do what he's doing because he's him. And that is, and you can say that about others. Like, I don't think Tim Duncan changed the way you played. He was just super efficient at what he did. Super efficient, super productive. Yeah. He was a master of his craft.
No, they did.
But I don't think he changed how you played basketball.
They did.
How did he change how you played basketball?
How did he change, or how did the Spurs? Because the Spurs were one of the very few teams, if any, that were deploying 2 7-footers at the same time. And that definitely changed, because normally you would have one center on the floor. You have guys that were interchangeable.
Pop changed the game. That's not Duncan.
Like what he's talking about with Shaq, for example. Little defenses changed how they defended to interact with Shaq and what he had. Like things like that. It
makes sense. Yeah, no, it makes sense.
That's the only accolade. That to me is why I would have him in a top 10, is because there are not that many players in the league. I think we could say maybe, I would say a handful that I could think of off the top of my head, but we could go to 2 handfuls that physically change how the game itself is played.
Real quick, how come Bill beat Wilt in all them championships, but Wilt is ahead of Bill in your?
Because Bill also had 17 other Hall of Famers in that organization. Can you name another player that was on those Sixers teams with Wilt Chamberlain? No, you can't. Yes. Well, it's also, I also have a guy, because he also has a season where he averaged 50 points a game. And in that same season, Bill Russell won MVP, and I think Bill Russell averaged like 11. So yes, Wilt was a much better player in terms of overall skill set than Bill Russell. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not mad at you having Wilt above Bill. I'm more mad about you having Wilt above Shaq, to be honest. Shaq is the most dominant NBA player that I've ever seen.
I mean,
hold on.
Between him and Kareem.
No, hold on. But like when people say the most dominant,
Wilt was dominating.
Like, I feel like Wilt Chamberlain has to be the most dominant ever, because he's put up statistics that will never be broken.
Averaging 50 a game in a season.
I mean, I get it.
You're talking about. You're taking context.
Because the head coach was a Hall of Famer. The point guard was a Hall of Famer. The shooting guard was a Hall of Famer. The power forward was a Hall of Famer. The GM was a Hall of Famer. Like, everybody's a Hall of Famer in this organization.
You drop Shaq into that era. Context changes.
Well,
it's 6 teams, right? You put in
if you drop Shaq in that era, he's matching Wilt's numbers. 50 a game.
So then,
He's absolutely matching.
So my thing is,
But he ain't.
But if you put Wilt in Shaq's era, like he's still gonna be putting up numbers.
Wilt would definitely match Shaq's numbers in this in
Shaq's
prime. Yes.
Yeah, because Shaq never averaged 30 in a season.
No.
he did in the finals though.
Yeah,
In the finals. We're talking about the regular season.
But
Average
he never
50
averaged 30.
Wilt was 50 in the regular season.
What's more impressive?
Well, it's not even close.
A half 100 for a season?
Yeah, no, that's not.
I'm
It's not
thinking
close.
the playoff championship, doing that in the big moments.
I know, but he still did it in the big moments. They didn't win. That's a difference.
All right, we got to kill it there. We got to kill it there. All right. With that all being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, rate, review. Till next time, I'm Cordell.
Marqus.
Ebron.
Be easy, be breezy.
I'm Deuce.
Be easy, be breezy, and please take it easy.
Steph is not in the top 10.